Well, hello, everybody. Today is Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's story time. Well, winter is here, and it's snowed. And you know what? Scott ought to be really happy. So I have a Christmas story today, and I'm out here on the porch, but I have my coveralls on and my scarf and my hat, so I'm going to be okay, and my gloves. But this is called the Christmas Scout. All right, the Christmas Scout, and it's by Sam Morgan. In spite of the fun and the laughter, 13-year-old Frank Wilson was not happy. It was true he had received all the presents he had wanted, and he enjoyed the Christmas Eve service at church and the reunions with relatives for the purpose of exchanging gifts and good wishes. But Frank was not happy because this was the first Christmas without his grandpa Steve, who during the year had been killed in a traffic accident by a reckless driver. Frank missed his grandpa and the close companionship that they shared together. He said goodbye to his relatives and explained to his parents that he was leaving a little early to see a friend, and from there he would then walk home. Since it was cold outside, Frank put on his new favorite plaid jacket. It was his favorite gift that he had received for Christmas. He placed it among the other presents on his new sled. Then he headed out, hoping to find the patrol leader of his Boy Scout troop. Frank always felt understood by them. Though rich in wisdom, his leaders liked him. The Flats was the place where he was headed, the section of town where most of the poorer people lived. His patrol leader did odd jobs to help support his family. I think Frank's disappointment was that his friend was not home. As Frank hiked down the street toward home, he caught glimpse of trees and decorations in many of the small houses in the flats. Then, through one window, he glimpsed a shabby-looking room with limp stockings hung over the fireplace. They were empty. A woman was sitting nearby, weeping. The stockings reminded him of the way he and his brother had always hung their stockings side by side on the fireplace next to Grandpa's. The next morning, they would be bursting with presents. A sudden thought struck Frank. He had not done his good deed for the day, as all Boy Scouts are supposed to do. Before the impulse passed, he knocked on the door. "Yes?" the sad voice of the woman asked. Seeing his sled full of gifts, and assuming he was making a collection, she said, "I have no food or gifts for you. I have nothing to give to my own children." "That's not why I'm here," Frank said. "Please choose whatever presents you would like for your children from my sled." "Why, God bless you," she said. The amazed woman answered gratefully. She selected some candies, a game, a toy airplane, and a puzzle. When she took the Scout flashlight, Frank almost protested. Finally, the stockings were full. "Won't you tell me your name?" she asked as Frank was leaving. "Just call me the Christmas Scout," he said. The visit left Frank touched, with an unexpected flicker of joy in his heart. He understood that his sorrow wasn't the only sorrow in the world. Before he left the flats, he had given away the rest of his gifts. His plaid jacket had gone to a shivering boy. Now Frank trudged home in the cold and snow. How could he explain to his parents that he had given away all of his presents? "Where are your presents now, son?" asked his father as he came in the door. "I gave them away," he answered in a small voice. "The airplane from Aunt Susan, your new coat from Grandma, your flashlight, your Boy Scout flashlight, you gave it away? We thought you were happy with your gifts." "I was very happy," Frank said quietly. "But Frank, how could you be so impulsive?" his mother asked. "How will we explain to the relatives who spent so much time and gave so much love shopping for you?" His father was firm. "You made your choices, Frank. We cannot afford any more presents for you." With his brother gone upstairs to bed, and his grandfather buried in the grave in the cemetery, and his family disappointed in him, Frank suddenly felt dreadfully alone. He had not expressed a reward for his expected a reward for his generosity, for he knew that a good deed should always be its own reward. It would be tarnished otherwise. So he did not want his gifts back. However, he wondered if he would ever again recapture the thought of his grandfather, and sobbed himself to sleep. The next morning he came downstairs to find his parents listening to Christmas music on the radio. The local radio station announcer spoke these words: "Merry Christmas, everyone." The nicest Christmas story has come to our attention. This morning comes word from the flats. A crippled boy down there has a new sled this morning, left at his house by an anonymous teenage boy. Another youngster has a fine-looking red plaid jacket. And several families report that their children were made happy last night by gifts from a teenage boy who simply called himself the Christmas Scout. No one could identify him, but the children of the flats claim that the Christmas Scout was a personal representative of that old Santa Claus himself. Frank felt his father's arms go around his shoulders and said he and his mother were smiling big smiles through their tears. "Why didn't you tell us what you were doing, son? We didn't understand. We are so proud of you." The carols came back on the radio, and the air again was filled with Christmas songs. Praises singing to God, the King, peace on earth, goodwill to men. Deuteronomy 15, verses 7 and 8 tells us, if there are any poor among you in one of the towns of the land that the Lord your God is giving you, do not be selfish or greedy toward them, but give them freely what you have, and freely lend them whatever they need. I thought that was a pretty cool Christmas story, and I hope you enjoyed it. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hey, everybody, have a great week, and I hope the rest of your year goes well. Until we meet again, may God bless. See ya.